So in this process, who are the victims? The Palestinians are the first to bear the brunt. Have ordinary Israelis really benefited from this? Can ordinary Israelis therefore live the happy and beautiful life they expected? Let the Middle East situation go towards such a mess, to boil, to walk, to brew a large-scale regional conflict. When it's risky, can America benefit from it? The controversial offensive realism, advocated by the so-called great power political tragedy, Mearsheimer, is on the Australian side. When speaking in the think tank, I've already been saying that America is losing its strategic focus. What is the so-called strategic focus from his perspective? Of course, from the perspective of power transition, the strategic focus is the threat and challenge from China. So, the resources you are currently investing in the direction of Europe, even to push the Russo-Ukrainian conflict in which direction, extend in a relatively medium and long-term direction, such actions have led you into a deep pit dug by the Netanyahu government in Israel for its own security in the Middle East. Is it conducive to realizing its overall strategy for the United States? Or it is actually a huge, substantial, and even irreparable damage to his overall strategic goal? For Israel to have peaceful days in the Middle East situation, you think a 3-month and 6-month military operation can come to an end? Most important, uncontrolled rockets, a form of harassment using the low-cost manufacture of unmanned, unguided rockets, is your 360,000 troops inside. Easily sweep a few rounds for a few days. Can be solved. Previous signing action. The recent 3 to 4 ground actions on the Gaza Strip, the longest seems to have lasted 50 days. After 50 days, everyone saw the situation, right? Hamas was not eliminated. The more they fought, the stronger they became. So, is it going to continue for 50 days or 60 days? It's already November. 60 days in November takes us to 2024. If it's not possible to wrap things up in the Gaza Strip within 60 days to the first 6 months of 2024, the US can continue to support unconditionally and unlimitedly. Of course, more and more uncertainties are put there. It's not surprising that such a trap effect among these allies is what you Americans jumped into. Even the Americans jumped in themselves. You used this unconditional support and bias towards Israel as a tool for America's intervention in Middle East affairs. This strategy is successful. It allows you to successfully reach into the Middle East, creating conflicts and resisting among various parties. But in doing so, you also bear the corresponding responses. Back in 1958, when Kinmen was bombarded, regarding the issue of whether to take back this golden wheel, and Mazu, Chairman Mao made a judgment when discussing these issues. What is this? It's extortion. What does it mean to slightly extend this role? It's about American imperialism, or American hegemony, reaching out everywhere around the globe. The original contestant cultivated many of his own agents and crafts. But at the same time, he also bears corresponding obligations to these agents. Every obligation, when it sounds good and America can use and control it, and when resources are plentiful, is a handy grip for him.
It's a tool I want
just
to
pick it up and
use
you can
try out.
It's falling down. When American resources become relatively declining and not so abundant, what are these excessive strategic obligations? It's like a noose around our neck. Which spoon do you want? If I turn this around today, if I turn this around tomorrow, I'll ask you the same question. The third turn the day after tomorrow, perhaps one day in the future, when 3 simultaneously snap or even more, turning at the same time, the entire system will alert. What we may see is another textbook phenomenon, which is called the decline of hegemony,